in his 3 marathon sets. Siegemund was always going to be a tough opponent. And so it proved to be. Enjoying the moment with her team, that's lovely. Joanne Bosch just taking his cap off there with the sunglasses on, able to smile finally. Siegemund was always going to be a tough opponent. Really nailed that spiting encounter between these two. And so it proved to be. Enjoying the moment with her team, that's excellent tennis. Joanne Bosch just taking his cap off there with the sunglasses on, able to smile finally. It was how difficult she can make life. Well, she did really nail that spiting encounter between these two. Repeatedly. Excellent tennis. But her tenacity mentally, she'll have known all about Lara Siegemund and what she can do and how difficult she can make life, and she did. Repeatedly. But her tenacity mentally, everything. Deja vu. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just waiting
That
for
was a battle and a half.
it's either magaling
Hardly.
it or just i-antay yung makakalaban sa next round.
But she got there in the end.
Pero for sure yan, kahit sino makalaban niya.
Stop absolutely everything you are doing right now at this exact moment. Do not scroll past this video. Do not swipe away. Cancel your meetings. Put your phone on airplane mode. Disconnect your Wi-Fi from every other device in your entire house. Lock your heavy doors. Pull down the blinds and turn the volume on your speakers all the way up until the bass is literally shaking the concrete foundation under your floorboards. I need your complete, undivided, unblinking, hyper-focused attention for the next few minutes. Because the mainstream American sports media, the nervous executives in corporate boardrooms, and the established veterans hiding in the shadows of the WTA locker room almost got away with the biggest, most misleading media spin of the entire decade. We knew the storm was coming. We knew that Alexandra Eala, the 31st seed and the absolute pride of the Philippines, was stepping onto the court to face the experienced German veteran Laura Siegemund. But what actually happened on that court was a psychological thriller so dark, so twisted, and so ultimately devastating to the tennis establishment that the networks are terrified to break down the real numbers. They are going on television right now looking at the final scoreline and trying to spin a story that Alex Eala struggled. They are pointing to the first set and trying to convince the global audience that the young Nadal Academy prodigy is finally showing cracks in her armor. They are completely, totally, and shamelessly lying to your face. And today on this channel, we are going to rip the mask off the establishment, tear up their fake corporate script, and expose the raw, unfiltered, terrifying truth behind this specific box score. Because what you are looking at on this screen right now is not a struggle. It is not a sign of weakness. What you are looking at is the forensic, undeniable evidence of the most brutal, painful, slow-motion psychological execution ever recorded on a tennis court. To truly understand the intense, suffocating battle that took place today, we have to talk about the absolute trap that the tennis establishment believed they had set for Alex Eala. Look at the very top of the graphic. Look at the score of the first set. Laura Siegemund won it 7-6, taking the exhausting tiebreak by a razor-thin margin of 8 points to 6. I want you to imagine the pure celebration, the premature, desperate excitement that exploded in the veteran locker room when Siegemund secured that first set. The established cliques, the players whose egos were permanently shattered when Eala dismantled Coco Gauff, were practically opening champagne. The American media machines started typing their articles. They were ready to publish the headlines. The fairy tale is over. Alex Eala exposed by veteran tactics. The rookie finally collapses under pressure. They genuinely and foolishly believed that taking one single exhausting set from the 20-year-old Filipina was going to break her spirit. They thought that because Siegemund used every clever, gritty veteran trick in the book to scrape together an 8-6 tiebreak win, Eala was going to panic, fold, and give away the match. But they completely forgot who they were dealing with. They forgot that Alexandra Eala was not trained in a soft, comfortable country club. She was scientifically forged in the brutal, unforgiving, blood-red clay of the Rafael Nadal Academy. And do you know what Rafael Nadal teaches his very best students? He teaches them that losing a set is not a disaster. It is simply a data collection exercise. When Eala lost that exhausting first set tiebreak, she did not cry. She did not throw her racket into the stands. She did not yell at her coaching box. She calmly walked to her chair, wiped the sweat from her eyes, took a sip of water, and processed the absolute storm she was about to unleash. She looked across the net at a 36-year-old veteran who was breathing heavily. A veteran who had just emptied her entire physical and emotional tank just to win a single set. And in that exact moment, the trap was triggered, but the establishment was not trapping Eala. Eala was trapping them. Look at the scores for the second and third sets. 6-3, 6-3. Alexandra Eala stood up from her chair, stepped back onto the baseline, and systematically, violently, and precisely removed Laura Siegemund's soul from her body. The suffocating dominance of those final two sets is written in the blood of these statistics. I need you to look very closely at the numbers on the screen because they describe a level of sustained psychological torture that most people cannot even understand. Let us start with the single most frightening, mind-bending, physically exhausting statistic on the entire board. The balls to break, the break points. I need you to prepare yourself and truly understand the magnitude of what this young woman achieved. Alexandra Eala generated an absolutely unbelievable, completely insane 21 breakpoint opportunities. I am going to repeat that so it permanently burns into your memory because the mainstream media is ignoring it. 21 break points. In the high-stakes world of professional tennis, generating 5 or 6 break points in a match means you are putting solid pressure on your opponent. Generating 10 break points means you are dominating the return games. But generating 21 break points is not a tennis match, it is a hostage situation. It means that 21 different times Laura Siegemund had to step up to the service line, look across the net at the cold, unshaken stare of Alexandra Eala, check the scoreboard, and realize she was one single mistake away from losing her serve.
Here I am, fresh as a flower, so yeah.
Alex, last question. Ranked 140 in the world a year ago. Now you're in the top 30. Talk to us a little bit just about what you're most impressed with. Is it your physical game? Is it your mental game? What are you most pleased with?
I think I'm really pleased with how I'm handling everything as a whole. A lot of things have changed for me, especially this year, in this season. So I think I'm doing a good job of keeping that balance of being hungry and staying happy and still working hard.
All right, congratulations. See you to the third round. Alexandra Eala.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Salamat.
Alexandra Eala, let's get some tennis balls.
Well, Andrew Krasny conducting the interview there. She's delighted. I'm not surprised. So many positives from that performance.
Imagine the completely suffocating, heart-pounding fear of playing under that level of non-stop pressure. Eala was not just trying to win the match. She was trying to completely break down the veteran's central nervous system. Every single time Siegemund tried to catch her breath, every single time she believed she had a safe service game, Eala was standing there violently pounding on the door with a sledgehammer. Even though Eala only converted 5 of those 21 chances, the sheer amount of psychological pressure is exactly what caused Siegemund's legs to turn into absolute jelly in the final 2 sets. Eala kept her foot pressed directly on the German's throat for more than 2 hours, refusing to let her breathe. By comparison, look at what the veteran managed to produce. Siegemund created exactly 6 breakpoint opportunities the entire match, converting 2 of them. While Eala was living permanently inside Siegemund's service games, the veteran was fighting for scraps, completely unable to break through the titanium-strong Nadal-forged defensive wall that Eala had built on her side of the court. But the real horror story of this match, the tactical masterpiece that proves Eala is an evolutionary step forward in women's tennis, is found in the serving statistics. Look at the first serve win percentage. Laura Siegemund actually had a fantastic serving day on paper. She landed 73% of her first serves. Normally, if an experienced veteran lands 73% of her first serves, she controls the entire flow of the match, pushes the opponent around, hits easy finishing volleys, and cruises to victory. But look at what happened when those serves actually landed inside the box against the pride of the Philippines. Siegemund only won 59% of those points. Do you understand the completely soul-crushing humiliation of that specific number? It means that Laura Siegemund was using her best and most reliable weapon with 73% accuracy, and Alexandra Eala was completely neutralizing it. Eala was standing on the baseline, reading the veteran's mind, absorbing the pace, and firing the ball right back at Siegemund's feet for clean, unquestionable winners. Eala took the best thing Siegemund had to offer, stripped it of all its power, and turned it into a huge weakness. Siegemund was throwing fastballs at a brick wall, and the wall was hitting them back twice as hard. Now look at Eala's side of the serving numbers. Eala landed 69% of her first serves, and when she landed them she won a massive 72% of those points. Do you see the frightening difference? When Eala hit her first serve, the point was almost finished. She controlled the rally completely. But when Siegemund hit her first serve, it was only the beginning of a long, exhausting marathon that Eala usually won. Let's talk about the pure violence of the return statistics. Look at the receiving points won. Eala won an unbelievable 56 points while returning serve. 56 times Siegemund had the advantage of serving, and 56 times Eala ripped the point away from her. The veteran only managed 39 receiving points. Eala was not just defending, she turned her return game into the most dangerous offensive weapon on the entire court. And when you look at the final numbers, the total points won, the reality of the destruction becomes crystal clear. Alexandra Eala won 125 total points to Laura Siegemund's 110, a 15-point difference in a match where she lost the first set, which is a massive gap in professional tennis. Eala won 18 total games compared to the veteran's 13. Eala put together a streak of 4 consecutive games, completely breaking the German player's spirit at the exact moment it mattered most. Every statistic that shows who controlled the flow of the match, who controlled the tempo, who owned the baseline, and who applied the psychological pressure leans heavily toward the 20-year-old prodigy. The locker room politics surrounding this performance are extremely toxic right now. It is a level 5 biological hazard zone. The veteran players who were celebrating Eala losing the first set are now staring straight into the abyss of their own decline. They know exactly what just happened. They realize the worst-case scenario has become reality. Before this match, the establishment held on to one small piece of hope. They thought maybe if they could survive her early attack, maybe if they could steal the first set and drag her into deep water, the young player would panic, lose focus, and defeat herself. But Alexandra Eala just took their best strategy, their final hope, and crushed it into dust. She proved to the entire tennis world that she is not a front-runner who only wins when everything goes perfectly. She proved she is a terrifying deep-water predator who can take your best shot, lose a painful 8-6 tiebreak, and then slowly, coldly, and violently hunt you down over the next 2 hours. She proved she becomes stronger, faster, and more ruthless as the match continues. She has the endless stamina of a machine and the cold calculation of a queen seeking revenge. The fear inside the camps of the veteran players right now is obvious. It is suffocating. They are looking at this box score and realizing the hype is not just real, it is unstoppable. They are realizing there is no safe strategy left. If you try to overpower her like Coco Gauff did, she absorbs your pace, lands nearly every first serve, and makes you quit. If you try to play tricky veteran tennis and drag her into a tiebreak like Laura Siegemund did,